Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Comfort, and with me on the screen is Andrew Bruning, the Regent Seven Seas representative, and I thank you so much for joining me today on this webinar. And one of the reasons why I wanted to have this webinar is to share with you now that this year is about, 10, 12, what is that, 5, 6 done. We're approaching 2023. I wanted very definitely to tell you about a couple of trends that I see and to have this webinar to make sure you understand the value and the reasons why booking more smaller, more luxurious, more all-inclusive vacations, and especially in this case, ocean cruises, is a wise thing to do, and it is what a lot of people are doing right now. There is no doubt about it. You know, with the advent of the gigantic cruise ships, boy, those are fabulous for a lot of people at a lot of stages of life. I'll tell you what, we're grandparents now. We've just booked a big Royal Caribbean cruise this coming summer for our 2 grandkids when we have them a week, and that's perfect. Those are perfect. But maybe a lot of time for you discerning adults or solo travelers, couples, families with older children that want something better, that want to make sure you have your values worth and the satisfaction for the time spent and the money spent is there. I want you to listen very, very carefully today, because I'll tell you what, there is this definite trend of what the American consumer and the Midwest consumer is wanting right now for those special vacations for themselves as a couple or for an adult traveling without young kids, and that is luxury travel. And in this case, luxury cruise lines. Regent Seven Seas is one of our favorites, if not our very, very favorite here of the ultra premium, ultra luxury top end line. I just was fortunate enough a few months ago to take a group to, we started in Venice and we ended up in Athens and hit some of the most incredible ports, some of which I'd never heard of before, because the smaller ships can get to ports that bigger ships cannot. And it was such, and you know, guys know, this is our 34th year and I've been on over 100 and some odd cruises. And I know food quality, I know service, and I know satisfaction, and Regent exceeded my expectation. And not just my expectation, but our entire group's expectations. Just exceeded them. So value for the dollar, yeah, everything was worth it. And when you think about your cost at the end of the vacation, not the upfront cost when you first booked the trip, Regent Seven Seas is actually a tremendous, tremendous value. Listen, they do something almost nobody else does. They offer business class air included as part of their package, and that's over the water, over the Atlantic or the Pacific, wherever you go. And I'll tell you honestly, I know, and if you've ever paid for business class air to Europe or anywhere, Asia, South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, you know what business class air costs. It is huge, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, more and more expensive because more people want business class air. So that's included. All of you who have taken a cruise, you know if you paid for tours at every stop that you stop at during the cruise, you know what the tour costs can be as a cost and expense at the end of the trip for you. With Regent, the tours are included at every port, unless you want the really fancy special private drivers and other tours like that. There are some tours you can pay for, but at every port of call you go to, tours are included. There's a huge option of tours that are included. Many of you who do like adult beverages, you know how much your bar bill is at the end of a cruise when drinks are not included in the cost. With Regent Seven Seas, they are included in the cost. And Andrew will go over all of this. And I say this to say, you must, and we will help you think about the cost of this cruise from the whole cruise through, not what it looks like when you're paying for it up front, okay? You got to think of business class air. You have to think of what the value is of all the tours at all the ports included. You have to think of the drinks, like I say. They have specialty dining rooms, but there's no extra cost to those. And oh my gosh, you guys, I know good food and I know great service. And Regent, oh my gosh, the food and service and the quality of restaurants. I have a lot of friends that say they don't go to all-inclusive vacation products, like all-inclusive resorts in Mexico or the Caribbean, because the food quality is never good enough for what they want. Well, I want to tell you, you go on Regent Seven Seas, you're going to be so satisfied and so pleased with their food and their service. It was exceptional. So with that said, Andrew, I think I've preached my sermon. I'm going to turn it over to you to tell everybody a little bit about what we just talked about and why everything I said is actually so true. So go ahead, Andrew Bruning with Regent Seven Seas Cruises.
Well, thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. And thank you all for joining us today. Also want to put a big thank you to the team over at Cruise Holidays. You guys are such a great partner of ours, and thank you for putting this together and making it happen. So as Mark mentioned, I'm going to do a pretty big overview of what we have going on here at Regent Seven Seas Cruises, our product, and then highlight two of these amazing destinations that we offer from Alaska to the Caribbean. So before we get started with that, I want to touch on who we are and what we do. So I have a short video here, and I do apologize if it's just a little bit choppy when it comes to play. It's just one of those things going over the internet, but it really explains and gives you a view of what the onboard life looks like. It takes you through some visuals of these destinations and also highlights one of the things that we pride ourselves most on, our unrivaled space at sea. We are small capacity vessels, maximum 732 guests on board, but we have large real estate. It doesn't feel like you're on one of the large ships. There's no waiting in line. There's no waiting to get into restaurants. There's no assigned seating. It's all open. It feels like you're in a resort. You have it to yourself. You're kind of moving about as you wish, and that is one of the things that we pride ourselves most on. So let's go ahead and start with that video. Oh. Now, that video was great because it gives you an idea of what our ships look like, the level of our decor. They are truly beautiful and a destination within themselves. But here we have our 4 brand pillars, plus our every luxury included, all-inclusive experience that really sets us apart from the other entities in the luxury segment. This is what sets up our unrivaled experience with Regent Seven Seas Cruises, and that's immersive exploration, impeccable service, luxurious suites, exquisite cuisine, and then our inclusion. So starting off with immersive exploration, we offer an array of different options for you to immerse yourself into these destinations. As Mark mentioned, we have our free unlimited shore excursions. These are going to be the tours for the first timers that get to these destinations. They want to see the highlights, they want to see the must-sees, and they are all included. We also have our Regent Choice excursions, again, that excel that touring experience. These are going to be the helicopter tours to the Mendenhall Glacier and dog sledding. They're going to be access to the behind the scenes portion of the Vatican, where you see the operational side and just not the sites there. And these are exclusive to Regent Seven Seas Cruises. We also have small group tours for those who are interested in having either to stay away from the larger group tours, or for those who want to immerse themselves more with the tour guides, be more face-to-face, ask more questions, and have more interactions. The Go Local tours are those tours are for individuals who have been to these destinations before. They've seen those highlights, they've seen those must-sees, and they want to immerse themselves a little bit deeper into the culture, where we take them in and you work with local vineyards and family-owned farms, operations, and see how it all works, and really, again, immerse yourself in the culture. Gourmet Explorer tours, these are some of my favorite tours that we offer. These are exclusive to our Explorer class vessels, which we will talk about here in a little bit. But it's where one of our chefs actually goes ashore with you, goes into markets, picks the produce with you, does wine pairings at restaurants, teaches you all of this culinary experience, and then you're able to take that culinary knowledge and go back on board our ships where we have our culinary arts kitchen, which Mark will attest is one of the highlights that we offer on board our ships. We have wellness tours for those who would like to focus on rejuvenation and self-help. Another thing that I really think is great that we offer is our executive collections and bespoke arrangements. If there's a tour that you just don't want to do with the group, even the small group tours, we will mirror that tour for you just for you and your travel companions. Or if there's something off the beaten path that we don't offer within our tour list, we will also create a customized tour just from you from the ground up. 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever it takes. If you want to stop for lunch at a restaurant that you heard is a must go to, we can add that in, and it's all something that we can take care of for you. We offer pre and post land packages to expand your journeys into these destinations. Mid-cruise overland programs. If there's something inland in between your sailing and the itinerary that you want to disembark the ship and go see and rejoin the ship later on, we have those as well. Pre and post cruise hotel programs. A lot of the times in cruising, you just fly straight to the ship, the port that the ship's in, you board the ship and you leave, but you're missing out on one of the best portions, and that's our embarkation and disembarkation ports. Those are both destinations and must-sees as well. So adding a hotel or a land program onto that so you can see it as a must. We have more overnights than most cruise lines. It's something we pride ourselves on. So you get to go to these turnarounds, and there's, the bustling cities like, Vancouver, for example, or Miami, where we overnight there so you can have some time in these cities and see the highlights. And then we also offer over 350 UNESCO World Heritage sites within our itineraries. Next in that brand pillar line is our impeccable service, and this is truly the highlight of our product. It's the staff on board. They create this beautiful, friendly, happy, smiling environment. They get to know you. They get to know your likes, your dislikes, your wants, your name. You over time, especially for our loyal past guests, they get to know them personally, and vice versa. And they care about what's going on in your home, and they ask questions about your family. I mean, the level of service on board is top notch, and the best way I can explain it about them just remembering you and who you are is a little anecdotal story that I have. I was on the Panama Canal sailing a few years back, and just like any other vacationist, I picked a cocktail that I really enjoyed, and I stuck with it every single day when I was out on the pool deck, enjoying some of that sun. And over time, they learned it. They just knew who I was. They brought it to me without asking, which is something they do regularly. But a few years later, I was actually in Alaska. So it's something that we'll highlight today, and I'll show you some of my favorite things about. And we had transitioned the crew from my Panama sailing to the Alaska cruise. And I was on board for maybe 20 minutes. I'm on the pool deck as I embarked for the ship. And one of the crew members recognized me. They went back and they made that cocktail for me. I didn't ask for it. I didn't know I wanted it. And they brought it and said, "Welcome back, Mr. Bruning." And, for me, that was an awe-inspiring moment. It was something that I talk about all the time. It was a wow moment for me, but that's just something they do for our guests every single day. Next, we have our luxurious suite. So, there is nothing better than retiring to the comfort and relaxation of your own suite. Our fleet is 99% private balcony. We have no inside suites. We have one vessel that has picture windows. We have among the largest balconies at sea. a dedicated attendant, butler service in our penthouse suite and above, which is a really great offering to really just release the responsibility that you carry as you know, when you go on vacation. You know, you don't have to, they pack and unpack for you, shine your shoes, bring you your room service. They take care of all of those things on a day-to-day basis, and then also personalize your vacation to your needs. We have a private in-suite minibar that we replenish daily. Our spacious marble stone and detailed bathrooms, separate sitting areas, and generous walk-in closets. I mean, this is why, and some of the features, that we're the most luxurious fleet in the world. Next, we have our exquisite cuisine. So we source the finest ingredients from all around the world, locally source them as we travel to make amazing offerings in our dining venues. We have open seating dining. There's no assigned seats, as I mentioned. All of our specialty restaurants are included. We have wonderful tables for 2 all the way up to 6 or 8, depending on the venue. We have up to 7 dining options on board our fleet, and we also offer 24-hour room service. So if you're hungry at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock in the morning, if you're awake at that time, you will have service provided to you. And here is that every luxury included offer. So if you line us up with a luxury or an all-inclusive resort and any other all-inclusive product at sea, available to the mass market, it's really hard for you to find something that's more inclusive than Regent. As Mark mentioned, you know, we do the business class air over the water. We have economy domestic. We have free and limited excursions. We offer a complimentary one-night hotel program in our concierge suites. Free and limited beverages, which are fine wines and spirits. These are top shelf alcohols and wines. I mean, this is Grey Goose, Kettle One, Maker's Mark, for example. All of our bars are open and complimentary. And as I mentioned, we do the mini bar daily. It's a cashless society on board our fleet. So all of our gratuities are prepaid and included in your cruise fare. Those specialty restaurants that I mentioned, transfers are included with our airfare. Our free and limited Wi-Fi on board, and something that's really exciting that we had come out of the pandemic, which is our free valet laundry service. It started off as something that we didn't want our guests to congregate in our self-serve laundry facilities, and so we offered free laundry, and it went over so well, and we have the process down so well that we decided to continue to include it, and it's now one of our standard inclusions. So where does this all happen though? Well, it happens, as I mentioned, on the most elegant fleet at sea. And today I want to highlight 2 of our ships, the Explorer and the Splendor, which is our 2 of our newest vessels. Explorer, released in 2016, refurbished recently in 18. Remember, she was out for 2 years due to the pandemic, unfortunately. And Splendor was launched in 2020. She sailed twice, and then we hung the keys up for the same reason. So she still has her new ship smell and some plastic wrap that needs to be peeled here and there. Again, these ships are our biggest vessels, holding 732 guests, super high crew to guest ratio. So that's, again, why our service on board is so well. And I just want to take you through some of the public areas of each one of these ships. They are sister ships, so they share a lot of similarities, but they also have their own unique flares that make them stand apart. So here we just have the pool deck to go get sun-kissed, have a cocktail, take a dip, read a book, whatever it may be. It's just inviting and luxurious with that teak pool deck. We have our showers and our hot tubs as well. Next, we have our culinary arts kitchen that I mentioned. So both ships do offer this. It holds up to 18 guests in there per class. We offer multiple classes per itinerary that are really kind of focused to the destination. So you can, especially in Alaska and the Caribbean, it's going to be very fish oriented. It's going to be, in the Caribbean, jerk type meals. It's an awesome and exciting course, especially when, as I mentioned, when you pair it with the Gourmet Explorer tours. Chef Kelly and her team do such a wonderful job on board and to make it so fun and exciting. Next, we have just a picture of one of our lounges on board. This is on board Explorer. It's Explorer Lounge. Splendor shares something similar, but they're inviting. They have little alcoves in which you can go sit and have a conversation, enjoy a cocktail pre-dinner or post-dinner. but we also offer all sorts of entertainment in these areas. So we have piano players, singers, our entertainment staff comes in and entertains during lounge hours. Next, we have the entrance to our Serene Spa and Wellness. That's, again, releasing the responsibility on board, especially when you go on vacation. And this is one of them, to go and just relax and just release that, the anxiety and the stress that we carry sometimes throughout our everyday lives, when you can go to the spa and get a hot rock treatment or a massage. And we also offer a salon on board for those types of treatments as well. Here are our restaurants. So as I mentioned, we do have up to 7 on, depending on the ship. Each Explorer and Splendor offer all 7 on board. Starting with our main dining venue, which is Compass Rose. It's a great dining venue. It's American and European fare. The picture that you see here is the Explorer's Compass Rose with that beautiful blue crystal wave chandelier that goes down the middle. We have those sunburst chandeliers in the background there. Very elegant color palette and wonderful, wonderful food. We do have a chef's menu that you can choose from, but something unique about this venue is that you can create your own entree. So we have thousands of ways to create an entree. You can have a steak in this venue every single night, and between the sauces and the sides and the way that we prepare, that meal could be different every single evening. We also have Prime 7, which is our USDA Prime Steakhouse. Pacific Rim, which is our Pan-Asian restaurant, bringing flares from all over Asia and flavor. La Veranda, which is our lunch and breakfast buffet. Chartreuse, which is our French venue. And then we have Setamari at La Veranda. In the evening, La Veranda turns into our Italian venue, serving wonderful veal chop and bolognese and all those classic Italian flares and flavors that we offer. And then obviously all sorts of wines and things to pair with your meal. I do want to show you the Splendor's Compass Rose. As I mentioned, they share a lot of similarities, but they also have their own areas that set them apart. So you had the blue chandelier on Explorer. Here you have the golds and that beautiful clear crystal chandelier with the olivey green colors. Again, it's inviting, it's a great venue, and they do share the same menu. There is no reservations required for Compass Rose on board. Here we have Prime 7 on Splendor, again, our USDA Prime Steakhouse. You can have a 6-ounce filet all the way up to a 32-ounce porterhouse. 2 pounds of king crab prepared the way that you like it. We'll bring it in a shell, half-shelled, or completely de-shelled. This is a reservation required restaurant, but it is still complimentary. And we also offer the ability to ensure that all of our guests have an opportunity to dine in our specialty venues by pre-booking their restaurant reservations pre-cruise, and we make sure that we get everybody the opportunity to have a dining experience. Here's Chartreuse, again, the French venue. So all sorts of forms of foie gras, your seared duck, and wonderful French wine. Chartreuse is actually the name of that yellow color that you see on the back wall there, and which shares the name of the venue. Here we have Pacific Rim, again, our Pan-Asian restaurant, bringing all those flavors from all over Asia. Beautiful venue. The lotus flower wall, floor-to-ceiling windows off on the side there. We have a beautiful mural on the back. All of the stemware and plates within our venues are Versace. So again, they're very, very elegant. Again, this is one of my favorite restaurants. I had the opportunity to dine on board a few years ago, and it is fantastic. Next, we have our suite life. So moving into our suite. So, one of the things that we pride ourselves in is the space that we offer on board. A lot of our entry-level suites are the same size as like penthouses or higher-end suites on premium brands. Each suite category features luxurious, new and contemporary designs. We have plush sofas, stylish wall coverings, and comfortable balcony features throughout all of our suites. We offer the linens that the European royals use and the Vatican use. in our suites. They are a destination within themselves. And I just take you through a few of these as well. Here is one of our deluxe veranda suites, 301 square feet, sitting area, plenty of space on the balcony, walk-in closet, walk-in marble bath, L'Occitane amenities for bathroom amenities. I mean, it truly is spectacular. Here is our concierge suite, 332 square feet. This is a unique suite that we offer within our fleet, as the bed doesn't face the forward or aft portion of the ship. It actually faces the port or starboard side of the vessel. So every morning when you wake up, you're looking off the side of your balcony, you're seeing the views of these destinations, and they're so exquisite usually. You're seeing beautiful, beautiful scenery the moment you wake up in the concierge suite on board Explorer and Splendor. Here we have the penthouse, 450 square feet, wonderful amenities as well. And this again is the first category to offer our butler service. And now we get into the larger suite. So we have the Splendor suite here, 655 square feet, full bar offered in this suite, usually a bath and a half. Again, just the color palette, the things that you arrange in the room, the furniture, it's all elegant and beautiful, and it really is a great home away from home. Here's our master suite on board, 2 bedrooms, over 2,000 square feet. The beautiful mini grand there that you can see, full bar still, butler service again, and everything. It's just, they are just amazing. Next, let's get into Alaska. So that is what we have going on, and we're talking about Alaska today. And so for those of you who want to sneak away in the overwhelming heat of the summer and go exploring through the last frontier, Alaska is a great opportunity to fulfill those desires. So rumors say it's cold during the year, but it's really not. During the summer season, it's very cool. It's 40 to 50 degrees at night, 60s and 70s during the day. You may even get perfect weather where it's 60s at night and 70s during the day. We got lucky when we went a few years back. It was just, we were spoiled for sure. No rain, nothing. It was the best time for sure. So this is the perfect weather for whale watching, salmon fishing, exploring glaciers, viewing snow-topped mountains, and immersing yourself into the Tongass rainforest, which most of Alaska is. It's actually a rainforest, which is very interesting. Here we have our onboard naturalist, Terry BREEN. She is on select voyages. She is an author and anthropologist, and she is going to be the individual who knows most about the Inside Passage of Alaska. We will have her on board for lectures within our enrichment series. She always does social gatherings as well, so you can ask questions and really get to know her during our cocktail parties and dinners. You know, she knows the most, as I mentioned, and it's very much an awe-inspiring opportunity if she's on board one of the vessels. So I definitely recommend if you are going to Alaska to see if Terry's on board so you get the full experience of what she offers. And here we do have a video quickly on why we travel to Alaska.
Why do we travel to Alaska? Because every time you look, you get a different view. Because no lens can capture what it feels like to sail this close to a glacier. Because the mountain peaks are more majestic than you realize. Because a helicopter ride soaring above them is on your bucket list. Because there's so many things you haven't tried yet. Because a glimpse into the untouched landscape is exactly what you needed. Because something they will never forget is exploring a national forest or walking over it. Why travel to Alaska? Because you can watch bears play and hear eagles soar overhead. Because the locals want to share their history and culture. Because the good things in life are everywhere. And with free, unlimited shore excursions, you can explore all Alaska has to offer.
And as being someone who's been to Alaska, I can attest, it is all of what you just saw. I mean, we saw so many eagles and moose and bear on our tours. It really is the last frontier, and it's just so beautiful there. The pictures don't do it justice. The video doesn't do it justice. You really have to see it in person. So as I mentioned, I did want to pull some of my favorite tours out from Alaska that I participated in, just to highlight them a little bit. But first, I just wanted you to see, this is the regular run for our Alaska seasons. We start in Seward and go down through the Inside Passage to Vancouver, or vice versa, depending on the direction. We do go north and south. The excursions that we sell with Regent Seven Seas Cruises are usually in the range of $200 per person. Those are our all-inclusive experience tours. So those are going to be no cost to you. It just shows you the value of what we have offering within our tours. And that's one thing that we really pride ourselves on, is the value. We do book our shore excursions extremely far in advance, 300 or 365 days, depending on the category in which you purchase. So it gives you a wonderful opportunity to, plan in advance. You get to kind of do some research a year or so out, pick the ones that you really want, and secure those tours that far in advance. And as you can see here, as I mentioned, we do sail the Inside Passage. So the waters are smooth, they're calm. It is really a relaxing experience on board the ship. And then since it's port intensive, as you go on these tours and dive in and immerse yourself into the destination, that's where the excitement, that's where the exploring comes in. And it really is a great experience. We do, as I mentioned earlier, offer Regent Choice excursions. So, these are going to be the more in-depth tours. They're going to have a supplemental fee apply. So we do cover up to like the $200. For example, if there was a tour that's $270, we would offer that tour for $70 because we supplement that rate. So we do have the ability to use shipboard credit. So, as you book through Cruise Holidays and the team, they have some offerings. Usually we have some offerings, and even though there's a cost associated with some of our Regent Choice excursions, you can get those usually comped as well with the use of shipboard credit. But here is one of my favorite tours that I participated in when I traveled to Alaska. It's the White Pass Railroad Summit. It's almost a 3-hour tour in Skagway. It is so exciting. It is a train ride. You go 20 miles up from Tidewater. You go over almost 2,900 feet in elevation. It's exciting. You have the guides on board. Each car has a guide, and they walk you through how they laid the tracks, the history of the mining experience that is in the area. It takes you all the way up to a point where you even sometimes cross into the border of a Russian territory. I mean, it is a really neat experience, and the scenery, the tunnels, the way they constructed the railroad is just so interesting and beautiful. Next, we have our Sea Otter and Wildlife Quest. This is the one that I mentioned that I saw the most wildlife on. So not only did we see the otters and the bald eagles, we saw bears more inland. We did start off a little bit further out in the bay, and there was a large grouping of whales out on the water. So we saw tons of whale. They were breaching, and they were blowing water out of the top of the horizon. I mean, it was just wonderful. Engulf yourself in nature, see how these animals live in their habitats. It's just amazing. Also in Alaska, we offer a lot of glacier experiences. So not only do we go to the Mendenhall Glacier, there's a few tours that we offer there. As I mentioned, we do have a few free tours just to go see the glacier. You can see it up close. You can kayak to it and get really close to the glacier. We do have those Regent Choice excursions. If you want to take a helicopter, land on top of the glacier and do dog sledding, we have that opportunity with our Regent Choice excursion. But again, one of the things that we pride ourselves on, and Mark kind of mentioned this at the beginning, is the size of our ships allows us to get into destinations that the bigger ships can't. And one of those is our stop at the Hubbard Glacier. So the Hubbard Glacier is 600 feet at its face. It is absolutely jaw-droppingly massive. And since the size of our ships, we're one of the smaller vessels, we can get closer than any of those larger ships by miles. So some of those bigger ships, they're 3 to 4 miles out. We have been lucky to get with almost a mile out. So we're so much closer. You get to hear the cracking of the ice. You can see it break from the glacier and fall into the water and create these enormous waves as it splashes. I mean, it is truly, again, Alaska, as I mentioned, it's just awe-inspiring. It really takes your breath away. We offer many pre and post packages within our Alaska season. You can go to Denali through our Discover Denali packages. It's a 4-night hotel package. You get to go on a dome train from the ship to Alyeska. You get to play with sled dogs, daily breakfast, and you go into Denali National Park, where tons of wildlife are. You get to see Mount McKinley. Stay at a really nice but still rugged Alaskan-esque type hotel. It is definitely an amazing experience. And now we're going to kind of change the vibe up a little bit. So we're going to the Caribbean and the Panama Canal. So we're going to feel those island vibes. And the Caribbean is a paradise for travelers searching for beautiful landscapes and unparalleled experiences. I mean, it has a mixture of cultures, nationalities, which make up the region and give it a very unique flair and flavor. So the Caribbean is the opposite of Nebraska. Sorry, I'm from Nebraska, so Alaska. We do these sailings in the winter months when all you really want to do is be outside, have the sun kiss your skin, the sand between your toes, and an icy beverage in your hand, or when you want to explore and take a hike to the summit of a volcano, which the Caribbean has many of. Here is the Why We Travel to the Caribbean video.
Why travel to the Caribbean? To explore its natural beauty. To unwind with new sights and new friends. To climb into the past. And taste the flavors of island life for yourself. To gain a fresh perspective and redefine island time. Why travel to the Caribbean? Because the good things in life are everywhere. And with our free, unlimited shore excursions, you can discover the best of them.
All right. Now, the Caribbean is going to be, again, the destination to relax. You can go explore. There's so much to see there, like volcanoes and the old forts, from the 1700s, all the sugarcane plantations and all the really cool, exciting things. But if you really want to sit on the beach, have a cocktail or a mocktail and just enjoy the sun, we have so much of that as too. So to the east, you have the white sand beaches on the Atlantic, and to the west, you have the ancient temples that overlook the Pacific, and then right there in the center, you have the Panama Canal that allows you to explore both. So hopefully you can select an itinerary that we've carefully crafted here at Regent, and also at Cruise Holidays to revel in an outstanding area, which is the tropical delights. So here's just a few examples of the itineraries that we offer in the Caribbean. So we have a 10-night on the Splendor here, March 11th, 23. We also have a 7-night March 21st of 23. This kind of gives you an example of what the Western and the Eastern Caribbean looks like. The Western Caribbean is going to be heavy on Mexico, and the Eastern Caribbean is going to be, you know, more of the Bahamas and things along those lines. But both are great destinations and offer so much unique experiences that you have to give them both a try if you haven't done so already. Here we also have an example of our Panama Canal sailing. This one goes Miami to Los Angeles or vice versa. You get a lot of the Mexican Riviera as well, some of the Caribbean and the Cayman Islands, and then you know, some of the, depending on the Panama sailing that we offer, sometimes it's more heavy on the Caribbean side, so there's more ports there, and you know, vice versa from this one. Here we have, you know, some exciting ports of call that I haven't mentioned, you know, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, Granada, Aruba, Cartagena, Colombia, Key West, Roatan, and I'm going to go through just a few of my favorite ports from when I've traveled to the Caribbean and just kind of talk about those shore excursions as well. So first, we're going to start off with St. John's in Antigua. This is a great destination for just, you know, hang out on the beach, as I mentioned, or if you want to snorkel or dive, if you're certified. I mean, there's so many options there to see the wildlife. You know, Dickinson's Bay Beach to relax. We have the historic Island Drive and Beach Break. If you want to just go out on a catamaran and enjoy the ocean breeze through your hair and just enjoy champagne, we have the Champagne and Lobster Catamaran Cruise. We also have our kayak and snorkel. And then we have the swim with the stingrays at Stingray City. This is such a fascinating tour. You go out into one of the reefs. It's very shallow. It's, you know, not even waist deep, and there's stingrays all over. You know, you can interact with the stingrays if you choose to. You can feed them. There's guides out there that'll let you pet them. It is safe. It's exciting and unique, and a really cool experience. Next, we have in Roatan, we have the dolphin experience. My wife and I actually did this a few years back, and it was, you know, really neat and exciting because of the interaction with the dolphins. They're so smart and they're so friendly, you know, and they're so well behaved in the sense that they're there to give you hugs. They give you kisses. They let you pet them. They're just such a very unique and cool animal. We also have the Big French Key Beach Escape and snorkeling. Some of the best snorkeling in the area, obviously, or in the world, I'm sorry, is in the Caribbean. You have our unlimited fishing and deep sea fishing. So if you're a fisherman and you want to get out on the water, we offer those tours for you as well. Another catamaran cruise. And then we have the Mayan Reef clear kayak and snorkeling, which is cool because you're in a fully clear kayak. You can see all the way down through the crystal blue or emerald green waters, and it's just a really cool thing to participate in. And those are going to be on the western or the eastern portion. Now on the western side, I pulled out just one really exciting experience that I just enjoy so much, and that is Chichen Itza, which is one of the Mayan temples and pyramids in the area. It's so fascinating. I love history, so this interests me so much. You get to learn about the Mayans, you know, how they developed, you know, see the history there, see the pyramids, and see the serpent on the side of the Grand Pyramid, where if the light hits it just right, it projects a snake on the side of that big long staircase that you see there. This is by two different ways. You can go by airplane and see it from the sky, then also offer some touring, or for if you want to see it on the ground, we do have it under our Regent Choice excursions for $69. This, in my opinion, is a must-do, a must-see in Cozumel. One thing I don't want to leave out, obviously, is the food. All of these destinations within the Caribbean have their own unique flavors and flares. Here we see some of the offerings from Mexico, and you know, Mexican is some of my favorite, authentic Mexican for sure. And you get those enchiladas, those tamales, all of that great flavor and experience, especially the Mexican street corn. That's one of my favorite things in the world, and it is truly amazing. So one of the things that Mark mentioned at the beginning of it is the value of a luxury cruise. And at Regent Seven Seas Cruises, we pride ourselves in that value. Here we can go through just a few of the inclusions. We are going to kind of compare against a premium cruise line, just because, you know, a lot of especially if you cruise premium, you may not think you may think luxury is kind of out of your reach, but it's not. It's right there for you. And you know, with premium, first off, with Regent, it's all included, as I mentioned. So as you can see on our line there, the upfront cost is going to be much higher. The sticker price is much higher than a premium brand. But as you go through our inclusions, since it's all included, that price stays the same. So from the beginning to the end, it is the same price. You do not have to pay for another thing on board if you choose not to. With a premium brand, yeah, it starts off, it looks like it's almost half, or is half of what the cost of a luxury brand is. But once you start going through and adding in the airfare, the ground transfers, the shore excursions, alternative dining, all of those onboard purchases, it brings that cost up so much. And so we're talking value over price, right? You're getting a high level experience with Regent Seven Seas Cruises. You're releasing the financial responsibility with Regent because you're not thinking about what something costs on board. Every time you purchase a drink, you have to sign a tab. Every time you go to an alternative restaurant, they bring you a bill. You know, also you're sailing with hundreds on board Regent versus thousands on a premium brand. Again, there's hassle-free, worry-free with Regent. You're releasing that responsibility. There's no nickel and diming. And as you can see here in this example, for Alaska, you sometimes pay more to get off of a premium brand's ship than you do to actually get on board that ship. And so with Regent, you know, it's happy smiles, goodbyes. We can't wait to see you next time. And some on the you know, the last thing on some of these premium brands that you remember is that someone asks you to pay a bill. And no, that's not how we operate with Regent. And I do want to show you the Caribbean as well, just to kind of go, you know, with Regent on the Alaska sailings. You know, we were about $500 more per person total at the end of the cruise, which that is such a high value when you start looking into the guest count on board, the no waiting in lines, the ability to select your shore excursions early and usually get what you want. Here in this example, we actually end up to be less expensive. So even though that sticker price at the beginning is much higher, once you go through and add in all of the non-included items that with a premium brand, you know, we are comparing apples to apples here. We have a Caribbean cruise, 10 nights. Again, they have 2,800 guests on their ship. We have 730 on ours. We end up being $400 less expensive with everything included. And that number with a premium brand could absolutely go higher, depending on what you purchase and the tours that you purchase. Some special offers that we have in our destination. So for Alaska, it is a great multi-generational destination. You know, you know, parents of older children and they have children, it's great to take your grandchildren. It's great to take your older children to explore. And if they are 17 and under, we do have a kids special offer anywhere from $9.99 to $12.99, depending on the sailing on select Alaska dates. We also have a Regent ambassador. So if you are watching this and are a past passenger of ours, please go out, refer a friend for your loyalty and you loving the brand and spreading the word. We will compensate you for your time. So we will provide you with a $250 future cruise credit and the new guest as well. a future cruise, or a future cruise credit of $250. And if it doesn't have to be your friends or family, it could just be someone you know who you think would really love and enjoy Regent. It could be your lawyer, your doctor, your neighbor that you know. Okay, it's just someone that you think that would really enjoy us. You could earn this credit off of. And each new guest that you do refer, you would earn that credit for each one. Currently, in both of these destinations on select dates, we are offering first-class airfare. So we have Alaska, Caribbean, and Canada, New England that's offering our first-class air. Again, it's select dates, but normally on these, with them being domestic destinations, it would be economy included. So right now, until the end of October, it ends on the 31st, we are offering first-class air on select dates. And for those of you who attended or watched this webinar, we do have a special cruise sale offer for you. We are offering up to $2,000 off per suite for new reservations only. We do not retro previously created, but let's get you booked on one of these if you're not already, and save up to $2,000. Now, I do like to show just kind of in the middle of what that looks like, because it is based on length of sailing and category in which are purchased. So if you do 14 nights or less in our concierge suites, it would be around $500 off for the suite, which is an incredible discount. And we're running that special from today through the 14th of October. So I hope you can take advantage of both the first class airfare and this special cruise sale that we're offering to you today. I do appreciate you so much taking the time to listen to the webinar. Hopefully we can get you on board, if you have not been already, to experience our Unrivaled experience. And again, Mark and team, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you.
Oh, Andrew, thank you. That was very, very well done. And the cold weather is coming upon us pretty quick, so that warm Caribbean, the beautiful waters, and that sand beach, Andrew, there's nothing like doing it first class the way you all do. And again, I will reiterate, it's just been fascinating to me to see the trends of people right now post-pandemic that frankly just want better. They want better. They like the suites. They like the bigger accommodations. Honestly, they're going on longer cruises. We see more back-to-back cruises being done than ever before. A lot of times they're wanting that business class air, so it's important to book early on that too. And then there's nothing better than literally than having that satisfaction of your vacation for the time and money you spent being everything you'd hoped for and more. And that is the one thing that we know Regent Seven Seas Cruises will give you. So Andrew works with us phenomenally well for all of our customers, and this sale is something that, if you can, you really ought to take advantage of it. We wanted to have this webinar right now because as everything is capacity controlled, so as the ships fill up, as the airplanes fill up, honestly, the prices go up. So it is the early bird gets the worm. And with Regent, with smaller size ships, 732 passengers, you heard, is their biggest ships, that Explorer and Splendor. By the way, we were on the Explorer too, and it was spectacular. And on that subject, everybody out there, you owe it to yourself someday to have a suite with a butler if you haven't already. I got lucky enough to have a butler on mine, and gosh, it was just spectacular. I actually asked him to show me how he unpacked and to show me at the end of the cruise how he packed my luggage. That's what butlers will do. They'll do everything for you, make any kind of reservations for you, for dinners, for tours, for whatever. And having a butler, oh my gosh, it was so worth it. We had Mary Treese and Alan Emery. Mary thought having a butler was about the greatest treat she'd ever had. It was a great experience to watch that happen. And the other thing I wanted to tell you too is, in fact, I wrote this down, walk-in closets. My good buddy, Steve Young, friend of mine who went on this cruise, said, my gosh, my walk-in closet was bigger than some of the staterooms I've had on the mass market ships before. I thought that was great. And the other thing I noticed, Andrew, that I want to point out, a lot of people wanted to have their private tours like you showed earlier, and were willing to pay for that, private drivers. And they had Mercedes, and that was our trip over in Europe. They had Mercedes cars and Mercedes vans. We had a grandmother that, are you ready for this? She had just lost her husband a year and a half during the pandemic. She took 25 of her family members with her on the Regent Seven Seas Explorer. And they did these private drivers, private cars, tours, every single stop they went on. She wanted to spoil her family, and boy, oh boy, did she. So again, I think you all, Andrew, did a great job of showing you the value of Regent Seven Seas, what you spend actually at the end of the trip. It's just absolutely fascinating how close in comparison the top brand luxury ultra all-inclusive like Regent is to the premium lines, and it's really, it's not too far from some of the mass market lines. So I would tell you, you owe it to yourself to at least look at the options available wherever in the world, and Regent goes everywhere in the world. We would be happy to help you with whatever kind of vacation you're looking for, whatever kind of destination you're looking for, whenever it is you're looking for. On a lot of Regent's longer cruises, they sell out, believe it or not, so incredibly fast. And so there are some sailings into 2024 and even 2025 that are very, very close to being sold out or already sold out right now. So do be thinking ahead of time. Because these ultra luxury, smaller, all-inclusive cruise lines like Regent Seven Seas are the choice of so many Americans right now and so many English-speaking people across the world. They want better, and they're willing to spend what they need to spend to get that experience. So, Andrew, I wanted to say thank you for your time today. You are a tremendous support to our company. You're very helpful. You get our people on Regent Seven Seas Cruises. We can talk to people from firsthand experience like we just experienced, and I think that is an invaluable service. So I know Andrew would agree with me. Don't risk your vacation to booking on the internet, especially something with the investment the size of Regent Seven Seas. It's just not, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's wise. We can help you with travel insurance. We can help you with air. We can help you with literally, we'll be able to answer almost any question you probably would have, including what to wear, which is the number one question asked of us over our 34 years in business. So I wanted to say, on behalf of all of us here at Cruise Holidays, thank you so much for listening to this webinar on Regent Seven Seas Cruises. And I'll tell you what, it's time for you. You deserve and you need a stress-free vacation, and nothing will deliver satisfaction like Regent Seven Seas Cruises. And that's from firsthand experience. Andrew, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Mark. I really appreciate you and the team.
Yeah, I appreciate you. We all appreciate you. Thanks so much, everybody. Give us a call, 816. The number is not on the screen, but 816-741-7417. Again, 816, area code 741-7417. We work by appointments right now, and man, that program is working really well. You can check us out too. CruiseHolidaysKC.com is our website. CruiseHolidaysKC.com is our website. Okay, everybody. Thanks so much. Go Chiefs.